Welcome to the Bible for My Friends. I'm John Swanson. In this series of videos, I'll share with you some of the ways that I approach the Bible. Ways that show up in my writing, my teaching, my conversations with God and with other people. Ways that have made people say, "You help me look at the Bible differently." Some of us are visual people. We have a conversation and we draw diagrams. We listen to stories and we see the movement. We hear ideas and we take pictures. For us, reading the Bible, trying to use words to explain the text, can leave us frozen or inarticulate. So I'd like to suggest 5 ways to read the Bible that give options to visual people. I call this camera as commentary. Rather than simply using words to understand and explain a biblical text, try using your camera to capture your understanding. So here are 5 ways, and continuing our numbering, these are numbers 11 to 15 in our ways to read the Bible. Number 11, let's start with an easy one. Jesus talks about birds and flowers illustrating God's care. It's in Matthew 6. Look at the birds of the air, he says. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. So build a picture essay of the wild riot of flowers and birds. You could start in your yard. You could go to parks and woods. You could capture pictures of sheep and sunrises, lilies and conies, marigolds and tulips. Number 12, move to a lifelong project. Read 2 Corinthians 4, 5 to 12. It's an image about the humanness of followers of Jesus. Talks about us carrying the glory of God in broken vessels. So, for this project, start finding pictures of people following Jesus in cultures all around the world in difficult life situations that illustrate the idea of holding God's light shining in jars of clay. You could start with people that you know for practice. But as you travel or traveling intentionally, look for those people who in difficult situations are letting the glory of God show through. Now, a word of caution. If people would get in trouble by being named or by having their name attached to a photograph, find some more creative ways to shoot. Number 13. There are lots of eating stories in the Bible, and I'm going to talk about some of those in another episode. But the feeding of the 5,000, it's an important story. It was probably more like 15 or 20,000 people. It shows up in all 4 of the Gospels, in Matthew 14, Mark 6, Luke 9, and John 6. And I've written about it a few times at 300wordsaday.com. So read those stories and then shoot pictures, looking for people that are feeding other people with dignity. Like the Sunday school class from a church that I know that spends Sunday mornings once a month feeding homeless people. Or other kinds of feeding situations. Look for people feeding people. Number 14, if you like weather, read the stories of the many storms that the disciples faced and take pictures of storms, of the calm after storms, of people looking at storms. I don't know. You come up with the pictures. And then number 15, there is a great story about friends who are bringing a man to Jesus, a man who is paralyzed. They can't get through the crowd, so they end up going up on the flat roof of the house and opening a hole in it and lowering the man through. It's amazing persistence and creativity. It's in Mark chapter 2, Luke 15, and Matthew 9. So start collecting pictures of people doing that kind of helping for other people, bringing their friends somehow to Jesus, whether physically, emotionally, spiritually. Now, here's a bonus camera as commentary idea. Do you know what quote cards are? They're the pictures with a verse or a wise saying on them. Well, take 2 or 3 sentences from the book of Proverbs, which actually are perfect wise sayings for quote cards, and then make quote cards and post them on an appropriate social media site. You can tag them Proverbs or I don't know. Pick that. It's an opportunity for your creativity. So that's it. Birds, pots, food, storms, and friends. Thanks for watching this episode of The Bible for My Friends. You can see more on my channel at youtube.com/JansSwanson, and feel free to visit me at 300wordsaday.com. See you next time.